everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Marcy. Hi everybody, this is Marcy coming at you from the Rock and Sea Homestead, and as promised on our last garden tour video, today we're going to be talking about making herbal tea. We've got quite a few different herbs planted here at the Rock and Sea Homestead, and just about all of them are herbs that can be used to make your own fresh or dried leaf herbal tea. So in this video, we're going to take you through all the different kinds of things that you might need or could use to make your own fresh herbal teas at home. And the first thing you need is herbs. So we're out in the garden this evening, and I've got my basket and my handy little cutting tool. And I'm going to snip a few leaves off of some of our different herbs, and then we'll go on inside and I'll take you through the process of making your herbal tea. So I've harvested a bunch of different herbs out from our herb garden area. We've got some spearmint. This is one of my favorite ones for making tea, spearmint. And we've got lemon balm, and I've had to keep them kind of separate because they look so similar, but they're from the same family. So lemon balm and spearmint, probably my top two favorites. Got some rosemary. Got a little bit of thyme. Got a lot, for some reason, whatever reason, I cut a lot of sage, but there's sage right there. And last but not least, got some basil. And I wish you guys could smell this because, my goodness, this all smells so good. So these are the fresh leaves that I just cut from our plants out front. We've also got some that we've dried over various different times. So here's sage, dried sage. We've got some dried basil, sweet basil. And we've also got some dried lemon balm. And for making your own fresh herbal teas, you can use fresh leaves or you can use dried leaves. And they both work just as well. You just need to change the proportions. You'll need more of the fresh leaves, less of the dried leaves. And sometimes you'll need a little more steeping time on the fresh leaves than you would on the dried leaves. So in addition to your fresh or dried herbs, you'll need a few other things to do your own herbal tea at home. One of the things you'll need is a teapot, and you'll also need a tea kettle. So big difference between those two. A tea kettle is the thing that you can actually heat the water up on the stove. Teapot, usually not something that you can heat up on the stove. It is really just the receptacle for pouring the hot water in. So tea kettle, teapot, some way to warm the water, and another place to store it and keep it warm. So I've got this cute little guy, little teapot. And it came with a handy dandy strainer kind of built into it. So you'll need one of these if you're going to use loose leaves or dried or fresh. So you need a little strainer like this. You put your herbs inside of there. They go in here and you pour the water over the top of that. I'll show you that in just a minute. So you'll need that. If you don't want to do a whole pot of tea, you can use several other different kinds of items to brew just a cup. Here's a big gigantic cup, and one of the things that I've got here for holding the leaves is this strainer ball thing. You'll put your fresh leaves or your dried leaves inside of here. You just drop it straight into the cup and you pour the water right over the top of that. So that's another item that you can use. The little strainer that came with our teapot could also be taken out of the teapot and just put into a regular cup, but I've got another one that's just kind of a standalone. This guy's great because it's got little arms that lift up on the side. So it would be good for any kind of a cup, really. You could put it in a great big cup like this, because the arms reach out all the way to the side. Or you can put it into a little narrow cup like this. So you can either one, or here's a tall one. You can also put it right in there. And so this is another really handy item, and it has a little plate thing that you can set it down on so that you don't have water leaking all over everywhere. If you've got a small cup and you don't want to use a great big strainer in there, there's these cute little balls that like this, and you just pinch them open, you put your herbs in there, and you just set them right inside of the cup, and they can steep that way. You don't want to use your fresh herb leaves into this kind of a device, because with the fresh leaves, you need lots of space for those to go and be separated from each other to get the best flavor. So this little device will be great if you're using dried herbs to make your tea. Okay, well, we've used our tea kettle to boil some water. You want nice hot water to make your fresh herbal tea. And you can actually do one of two things. One, you can use the herbs and the water, just those two things, and that's what creates your herbal tea. Or if you want to try something a little bit different, you can use like a generic flavored black tea. I've got Earl Grey here and also English breakfast. So you could actually put a little tea bag in there and your fresh herbs. And you could make like a mint black tea or a mint green tea if you have some green tea tea bags. So that's something that you could try if you want to mix up the flavors that way. You can also just try using different herbs and different combinations. So you'll just have to experiment and see what kind you like the best. For me personally, as I mentioned up front, my favorite is spearmint. So that's definitely what I want to use right now to make up some good herbal hot tea. So we're going to use the little teapot and the little strainer that comes with that. So I'm going to pick off a few of the leaves. I have washed all of these, by the way. I've given them a good rinse down. So now I'm just going to pick off the leaves of the spearmint plant clippings that I got from outside. I'm going to go ahead and put quite a few of these in here. You'll need like 1 to 2 tablespoons or so of fresh leaves, and then you need more like 1 to 2 teaspoons of a dried leaf herb to make a good fresh pot of tea. So we're just going to go ahead and use spearmint. Again, you can try a variety of different blends. You can research a little bit online the different benefits that these different herbs might have. One of the things I like about spearmint is it's supposed to help if your stomach, if you have a little bit of a stomach ache, or if you're not feeling really well, spearmint is supposed to really help with that, and I have found that to be true. So spearmint or peppermint in either of those flavors really help with something like that. So, and also it tastes good and it smells really good. So as you're putting the leaves into the strainer, I forgot to do this, I'll backtrack a little bit. You want to go ahead and kind of scrub them up a little bit, kind of release some of the oils and stuff that release the really good flavors. So give them a little bit of a rub down before you put them into the strainer. Also, your hands will smell fantastic. That's really, really a good smell. All right, so I've got my leaves into the strainer and into the teapot. Now I'm going to use my tea kettle, where I have heated up some super hot water. Just going to pour that right in on top of that. Fill this thing up. Ooh, it smells so good. I wish you could smell it. It smells delicious. We're going to go ahead and fill that up. Tea for two. I might be able to talk Lance into coming over here and having a cup of spearmint tea with me. Now we're going to put the lid on this little thing, and you want to let it sit and steep. Well, it depends on how strong the flavor of a flavor that you want, but 3 to 5 minutes at least, maybe a little bit longer if you're using fresh leaves, and also depending on what kind of strength tea you like. So we're going to wait a few minutes on that, and then we're going to give it a try and see how it tastes. So spearmint tea is probably my favorite, but Lance likes more of a black tea with lemon. So we're going to use the Earl Grey black tea bag, and we're going to use this great big gigantic cup. I'm going to go ahead and put the tea bag right into the cup like this, and then we'll use this big guy to put in some of the fresh lemon balm leaves. So once again, I have cleaned these leaves off, rinsed them off with water, and once again I'm just going to pick off the leaves, and I'm going to drop them into this little strainer. And again, I'm forgetting that you should really give them a good rubbing, scrub down to kind of release some of that good scent and good oils and the good flavor. So give them a little rub as you're putting them in. And I think that'll do it. So we got them all inserted in there, the tea bags in the cup. We're going to close this thing up and latch it, set it inside of here, and once again we'll use the hot water from our tea kettle, and we will just fill this thing up. And once again, depending on what kind of flavor you like, you're going to want to let this steep for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then we'll see, now that we're making one of Lance's favorite ones, I bet I can talk him into coming over here and having a little tea with me. Well, if you brew it, he will come. He liked the smell, so he's going to give it a try.
Fantastic.
I know, I wish you guys could smell it. They really do smell really, really good. So they've been steeping for about 5 minutes now. We both like a good strong tea, so we went a little bit longer on that. So, I think all that's left is giving it a try, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
So you want to take out your strainer. Lance has already got his in a mug. I'm going to pour mine into this super cool mug right here.
If you want one just like it, there'll be a link down below.
Oh yeah, that's right. Go check it out. There we go. I bet it's nice and hot still too, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
So I like mine kind of just straight out of the teapot. Lance usually likes to have his sweetened a little bit, so.
I'm a good Southern boy. We like our sweet tea.
True.
And even the hot tea needs to be a little sweet. So I just got some honey.
Lots of different ways that you can sweeten your tea, but we'll use honey this time. One thing we haven't done yet, but that we've read a little bit about, is using growing stevia and using the leaves from the stevia plant as a natural type of sweetener. So I think we're going to maybe try to grow a little stevia plant here in the house and experiment with that a little bit, because I think that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to give that a try, I think. But we want to hear from you. We want to hear what your favorite herbs are for making tea, what kind of benefits you've seen from using them. I'd also love to hear what your favorite combinations might be.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah.
If you mix different herbs. I've been pretty much just with the lemon balm and the spearmint. I've heard great things about all these other basil, sage, thyme, and lots of others. Lavender, the flowers from the lavender, and just on and on and on.
Yep.
The list seems to be endless. So we've just kind of started experimenting with it, but we've been loving it. So share your favorite hot tea combinations, herbal hot tea combinations. If you've got a cool tool that you use to do that, love to hear about that as well. If you haven't already, we'd love it if you would follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll have links to our Facebook and Instagram pages below. And we post daily pictures and just short videos about things that are going on here at the Rock and Sea Homestead, and also things that are coming up.
Yep.
So if you wouldn't mind going over there and checking us out, liking us or following us over there, that'd be awesome. Also, here's a great chance to subscribe.
That's right.
So if you haven't done that already, you'll see a little subscribe button down here in the corner, and we would be so grateful if you'd subscribe to the channel, and also make sure to click the notification bell so that you know when we've uploaded a new video.
That's right. Ring that bell.
Yeah, ring that notification bell.
That's right.
Right? Well,
we're ready to try these things?
I think so. From our homestead to yours, we hope that you have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.
Cheers.